Right now, someone in your life is slowly stealing your peace. They're not using weapons or threats. They're using something far more dangerous, like your own emotions against you. And the worst part? You probably don't even realize it's happening. You know that feeling when you walk away from a conversation and somehow you're the one apologizing? When you question your own reality after talking to them? When you feel drained, confused, and somehow smaller than you were before? That's not coincidence. That's control. And today, I'm going to show you the one secret that will make you immune to their games forever. But first, you need to understand exactly what they're doing to you. See, toxic people aren't born with some evil master plan. They're actually wounded souls who learned that the only way to feel powerful is to make others feel powerless. But here's what they discovered that most of us never realize. They figured out that the easiest way to control someone isn't through force. It's through your emotions. Think about it. When someone makes you angry, who's really in control? When they make you doubt yourself, who holds the power? When they leave you feeling guilty for things that aren't even your fault, who's winning? They are. And for years, maybe even decades, you've been playing a game where you don't even know the rules. While you're trying to be kind, reasonable, and understanding, they're playing chess with your feelings. But what if I told you there's a way to step completely outside this game? What if there was a secret so simple, so powerful, that once you understand it, no toxic person could ever manipulate you again? Here's the first thing you need to understand about toxic people. They're emotional hackers. Just like a computer hacker finds vulnerabilities in software, toxic people find vulnerabilities in your heart. And your biggest vulnerability? Your desire to be a good person. They know that good people like you want to help. You want to understand. You want to give second chances. And they weaponize your kindness. Let me paint you a picture. Sarah, a 28-year-old teacher, had a friend named Maya. Every conversation with Maya followed the same pattern. Maya would share a crisis, always dramatic, always urgent. Sarah would drop everything to help. But somehow, Sarah always ended up feeling worse. Maya had a special talent. She could twist any situation to make Sarah feel guilty. I guess I'll just handle this alone. Again. I thought you were my real friend, but I understand if you're too busy. Everyone always abandons me when I need them most. Sound familiar? This is emotional hijacking. They take your natural empathy and redirect it toward their needs, their drama, their endless void of validation. But here's what Sarah didn't realize, and what you might not realize either. Every time you respond to their emotional manipulation, you're training them that it works. You're actually teaching them how to control you better next time. The second weapon in their arsenal is even more dangerous. They don't just want your time or attention. They want to rewrite who you are. This is where it gets really dark, and I need you to pay close attention because this might be happening to you right now. Toxic people are masters at something psychologists call gaslighting, making you question your own reality. But it's deeper than that. They're not just making you doubt what happened, they're making you doubt who you are. You're too sensitive. You always overreact, or you're imagining things. That's not what I said. You never listen. Word by word, conversation by conversation, they're erasing your confidence in your own perceptions, your own feelings, your own worth. And here's the heartbreaking part. You start to believe them. You begin to think, maybe I am too sensitive. Maybe I do overreact. Maybe I'm the problem. This is the moment they win. Not when they control your actions, but when they control your identity. I remember reading about a woman named Lisa who was married to an emotional manipulator for 15 years. By the end, she couldn't make the simplest decisions without his approval. She had forgotten who she was before him. Her own thoughts felt foreign to her. The day she realized what had happened, she sat in her car and cried for 2 hours. Not just for the years she'd lost, but for the person she used to be. Confident, decisive, creative. That person felt like a stranger. If this resonates with you, if you feel like you've lost pieces of yourself to someone else's version of who you should be, I want you to know that person you used to be is still there. They're just buried under layers of someone else's lies. But perhaps the cruelest part of toxic relationships is how they feed off your energy, Have you ever noticed how some people leave you feeling energized and happy, while others leave you feeling completely drained?
This isn't coincidence.
This is emotional vampirism. Toxic people are emotional black holes. No matter how much love, attention, support, or energy you pour into them, it's never enough. They always need more. And the more you give, the emptier you become. Here's what's really happening. They've learned that creating drama, crisis, and chaos keeps you focused on them. Your attention becomes their drug, and like any addict, they'll do whatever it takes to get their next fix. The tragedy is that while you're exhausting yourself trying to fill their emotional void, your own life starts falling apart. Your other relationships suffer. Your dreams get pushed aside. Your own needs become invisible, even to yourself.
And the most painful realization, it doesn't matter how much you sacrifice.
They will never be satisfied. You could give them everything, and they would still find something to complain about, something to make you feel guilty about. This is when many people reach their breaking point. You realize you've been pouring water into a bucket with no bottom and you're dying of thirst.
So what's the secret I promised you?
How do you become immune to their manipulation? It's something I call emotional sovereignty. Emotional sovereignty means you become the sole ruler of your emotional kingdom. No one else gets to dictate how you feel, what you believe about yourself, or what you'll accept in your life. But here's the key. It's not about building walls. It's about building boundaries with gates that only you control. Let me explain this differently. Imagine your emotions as a house. For years, you've been giving toxic people the keys to your front door. They come and go as they please, rearrange your furniture, make you feel uncomfortable in your own home. Emotional sovereignty means changing the locks. It means when someone tries to make you feel guilty for protecting your peace, you don't hand them the key. When they try to make you question your reality, you trust your own experience. When they try to drain your energy, you simply
don't let them. This isn't selfish. This isn't mean. This is survival.
Here's what this looks like in practice. When Maya tries her usual guilt trip on Sarah, instead of scrambling to fix everything, Sarah might say, "I can see you're upset. I hope you find a solution that works for you." And then she doesn't rescue her. When the gaslighter says you're being too sensitive, instead of defending yourself or doubting your feelings, you might say, "I disagree," and leave it there. When the emotional vampire starts their drama tornado, instead of getting swept up in it, you might say, "That sounds really challenging. I'm sure you'll figure it out," and then change the subject or remove yourself. But I need to be honest with you about something. Taking back your emotional sovereignty isn't easy. In fact, it might be one of the hardest things you'll ever do. Because here's what happens when you stop playing their games. They escalate. When you stop giving them the reaction they want, they'll try harder. They'll push buttons you didn't even know you had. They'll make you feel like you're being cruel, selfish, or unreasonable. This is called an extinction burst in psychology. It's like when a broken vending machine suddenly starts working again right before it completely breaks down. They'll pull out every manipulation tactic they know because they can sense they're losing control.
And in those moments, you'll want to go back.
You'll want to apologize, to smooth things over, to return to the familiar dysfunction.
Don't. This is your test.
This is where you prove to yourself that you're stronger than their manipulation. And here's what happens on the other side: freedom.
Real, genuine freedom.
You wake up without that knot in your stomach. You stop rehearsing conversations in your head. You rediscover interests and dreams you'd forgotten. You start attracting healthier people into your life. You remember who you were before they tried to convince you that you were someone else. So here you are at a crossroads. You can continue playing the game where someone else holds all the power, where your happiness depends on their mood, where your peace is always just one conversation away from being shattered, or you can choose emotional sovereignty. You can choose to believe that your feelings are valid, that your boundaries matter, that your peace is not negotiable. I won't lie to you, some relationships won't survive this change. Some people are only in your life because you allow them to treat you poorly. When you stop allowing it, they'll leave.
And that's not a loss. That's a liberation.
The people who truly love you, who truly want what's best for you, will respect your boundaries. They'll celebrate your growth. They'll love the stronger, more confident version of you.
As for the others, let them go.
Make space for people who add to your life instead of subtracting from it. Because here's what I know about you. Even if we've never met, you deserve to be treated with kindness. You deserve to have your feelings respected. You deserve relationships that energize you instead of draining you. You deserve peace. And you have the power to create it, starting right now. The secret to never letting toxic people control you isn't a magic formula or a complicated strategy. It's simply deciding that you matter too, that your well-being is just as important as everyone else's, that you have the right to protect your peace. If this message resonated with you, if you're ready to reclaim your emotional sovereignty, I want you to do something. Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell, because we're building a community of people who refuse to let others control their happiness. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Sometimes the most loving thing we can do is help someone see that they deserve better. And in the comments below, I want you to share one boundary you're going to set this week. It can be small. Maybe it's not responding to that late-night drama text. Or maybe it's bigger, like having an honest conversation with someone about how they treat you. Whatever it is, share it below. Let's support each other as we reclaim our power, one boundary at a time. Because when we stop letting toxic people control us, we don't just change our own lives, we inspire others to do the same. And together we create a world where kindness isn't taken advantage of, where empathy isn't weaponized, and where good people like you can shine without fear. Remember, you are not responsible for managing other people's emotions. You are only responsible for honoring your own.